I've got Nick Westbrook on the line, and I would love for all of you to give him a wonderful Limitless group welcome. Let's welcome Nick. Come on.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Put it here. That's awesome. His business model is absolutely incredible. Nick Westbrook and his team closed 65 million last year. 5 years ago, Nick, what was your volume?
3 million my first year. I did 25 deals.
3 million his first year. He did 25 deals.
I was by myself.
By yourself.
Yep.
He just finished up at 65 million, he and his team and his co-owners of his team. And just put 4.5 million pending this week. And I brought Nick on because last week, as you all know, we were talking about the 3 commitments on the one thing. We were talking about the 3 things you need to have in order for you to break through and have massive success. Welcome to Limitless Live. Let's get started. And I want to thank you for coming on. And I'd love for you to tell a little bit about where you were. What was it like 5-7 years ago in your world? Start us off with what it used to be like in your world many years ago.
So the funny thing is I was never an entrepreneur. I honestly played baseball. So I played baseball from the age of 4 till 24. So I was always around teams, and whenever I got released from professional baseball, I started working at Dick's Sporting Goods, and I didn't know what path I wanted to go on. I started running big box stores when I was 24 years old. And I started the whole management of people, and it just led into wanting more and more and more. And I met my lovely wife, who has been an entrepreneur since she was 19. Her mom was an entrepreneur. Her dad was an entrepreneur. And my mom was a bus driver for 36 years, and my dad was a mechanic for close to 40 years. So I always saw them working their fingers to the bone. And then I go over and meet my wife and see how their family lived and what they created. And she just rubbed off on me. And I wanted a life outside of retail. And she built a huge multi-level marketing business called Beachbody, retired me at 30. So we were like up here, peaking, and we were doing amazing. And then Irma hit, and a bunch of stuff changed with Beachbody, and I had to go and sell my house. I just got my real estate license. So, I was doing deals here and there, but then we're like, okay, well, we need to make more income now. So we actually built Lindsay a studio here too. So we didn't just fold, you know what I mean? We didn't stop our drive, and we knew that if we kept trying different things, we can get to where we need to be again. And, we pretty much lost everything. I had to rent a house for 3 years, and being in the real estate business, you kind of feel like a hypocrite because you're renting houses and you're selling $1 million homes to other people, but there's always a point in your life where you have to rebuild and you have to figure it out. And it makes you so much stronger by doing so. And so while we were building our businesses back up, I met Steve, and we joined together and created Luxury Alliance Team. And then we taught in Naples, and then Josh Holt heard us speaking, and he was one of our first buyer's agents from the office. And mind you, that was the first time we ever spoke ever. I don't know if you knew that, Becky. So at the office, that was the first time we ever spoke in person. And Becky was the one that pushed us to do it. When we went to KW, I think we did 10 million our first year, and within 3 years we did 65 million. So, Becky helped lead us and pretty much tell us how to structure everything. And it was just a phenomenal feat that we did to rebuild again,
Well, I appreciate that, Nick. But I tell you what, it's really interesting how you can help folks and take them to the water, but they seldom drink. Right. Yep. And they seldom take the action. And you took the action. You, Steve, and Josh took the action. It was just amazing to watch. I'll never forget, you were telling a story one time about how you were selling stuff out of your garage, just raising money. Right. Tell us about that and what that point of your life helped you do later.
So the funny thing is that while I was selling all that stuff out of my house, I had all these people from our market coming to buy stuff from me, and it turned into me getting lot deals and listings. And so it taught me a lesson of, don't be shy, go out and talk to people all the time, and so the reason, that I'm successful through social media is because I literally, that's how I get all my leads, because we do it every day. So just the consistency of how we do it. But whenever I was selling all that stuff, it just, I knew I had to. I think I sold close to $12,000 just on Marketplace. The one thing that did save us from losing everything, I actually owned a piece of real estate up in Spring Hill. And I bought it when I was 24. I owned it until I was 32. And we made $100,000 on that house. So, it kind of just all full circled together back to real estate again, and we were just lucky to buy that property when we were so young and be able to hold it. And we actually sold it to our sister-in-law. So she's still living in it.
That's awesome. So that's what helped get you through. It's interesting how that's why Gary Keller says buy dirt, right?
Mm-hmm.
He says,
you see the shirts that we're making?
Yeah, because real estate will always be there, and you will always be able to. It's something that's going away, right? Like, when you buy a piece of dirt, that dirt is either going to get a house on it or it's going to stay empty. But once it belongs to someone, it belongs to someone, right? It's becoming a scarce commodity. I love that.
True.
All right, so I want to ask you a question. So you were with another company, I believe it was 100% company, and you were at 3.5 million in volume, right?
Yep.
You decided to make a change. And I'd like to know, what is the one thing that you and your team have focused on consistently to lead generate?
So we all know that you have to lead generate no matter what. Right? Like, if you're going to be in this business, you got to figure out what you like to do and how you like to lead generate. Well, sorry for the sun on my face. I want to do this right now. But so for us, it was social media. Like, we just love social media. Right. And I never really loved it when I first started doing it, because I was running stores and I didn't want people knowing my business. Right. Well, in real estate, everybody has to know you're a realtor, right? Like, you have to literally tell everyone you're a realtor, because if you don't, you're going to miss opportunity. So we just decided to just do it through social media. And we have a formula to how we post, what we post, when we post, how to message people. I don't know if anyone's ever been to our classes, but we speak once a month in different cities in Florida. And we teach literally exactly that question of what you just asked me. And, we look at, when we're on social media, I might be on an hour a day. That's it. But you got to think about it this way. There's 3 billion people on a month on Facebook, right? How many people can you reach just walking around talking to people or picking up the phone and calling people? I can reach 100 times more people just through social media as I could picking up a phone, cold calling, door knocking, sending out emails. I'm not knocking that. I'm just letting you know what we do differently and why we do it, because we feel like we can get more eyes on us and show people how we work. And all of our posts that we do kind of tell people about who we are so that they trust us. So as long as we do the post cycles like we do, we could, I'm sure jab, right hook. A lot of you guys have read that book by Gary Vee. The jabs are just, our posts, and the right hooks are our real estate. And those right hooks are what gets us the business.
Yeah. I love what you just said, is that everyone has a different way of selling or lead generating. Let's put it that way. Everyone has a different way of lead generating. And what I just heard you say is that, hey, I'm not putting down whatever anybody else is doing. It's just that this is what we decided to do. And even though you decided to do it that way, what I'm hearing is that you have a system built around it that you do every single day, and you follow that system, right?
Non-negotiable.
Tell us about that. Non-negotiable.
if you're on our team and you're not posting, I'll call you out. You know what I mean? Like I'll go on and audit people's Facebooks and say, you need to be doing this differently and you need to be doing. So it's kind of like one of those things where, say you wake up and you work out every day and you do it every single day and you keep doing it every single day, and your body molds into this physique and this perfect physical fitness. It's the same thing with doing social media and lead genning the way we do every day. Your business turns into a physical mold of just greatness, and it just leads to so much more opportunity. And that's kind of like why I have to do it. You know, just to be an example for the team, and because people who follow me for a reason as well. Even if they're not on my real estate team, I try to give value to everyone, and when you do that, people trust you and they know you're a good person, and that's kind of how we post. Is we want to be as transparent and candid as we can, so people already know us. I'll have someone message me through Facebook Messenger and literally say, Nick, I want you to come list my house. I don't go on listing appointments. I go on listing confirmations. I already have the listing before I go into their house.
Because of how you show up already on social media.
Exactly.
So Nick, here's the $1 million question, right? I mean, and you and I are just having a conversation. So we all see real estate agents posting on social media, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we all see the results of that, which, you know, when you actually go look at the numbers, the results are not great. Like they're doing all this social media posting, they're doing this and that. They've been on social media for 2 years. And then you actually go look at their volume. And in Southwest Florida, where you could really sell 10 million with a blink of an eye, right? Yep. They're like 3 or 4 million. And I'm not knocking 3 or 4 million. And yet At the same time, what are they doing wrong?
They're not. So there's a couple things you can be doing wrong. First off is your content, obviously, right? Mm-hmm. Secondly is not being your transparent self. So people don't feel like they can get in and know you through your posts. Telling stories is something that if you're going to do what we do, it's almost like blogging about your life. Mm-hmm. And if you're not putting out there what relates to people, then you're not doing it right. If you're not messaging the people who like your posts, then you're not doing it right. If you're not posting 3 to 4 times a day, you're not doing it right. I mean, I can go on and on and on. If you're not in Facebook groups, you might as well just never even try doing social media, because that's where probably 90% of our business first started when we first got into real estate. You know, we kind of went around different things, and I know like social media is turning into SEO, right? So that's how I feel like it's the new Google. People go in Cape Coral groups. I created some here, right? So people go in there and they'll search realtor, and I'm tagged so much that they'll just reach out to me without even knowing me, because they see how many times I get tagged. They see me responding, and that's very important, right? So if someone tags you and you don't respond and you just let it fly out there, you never know who's going to go back and look at it again. Right. You know, so everything that we do is super purposeful, and there's a reason why we do it.
I love it. Everything we do, write this down, guys. Everything we do is super purposeful, and there's a reason behind it.
Yep.
So you don't hire someone to go post your social media. No,
absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because if you do, it's not you. It's not me. You know what I mean? It's not. And I feel like I would be a phony, honestly. And I know there's a lot of people that do it, and there's probably some successful people that do it. But for us, it's just not what we do at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Because for you, it's the transparent stories around. I think you said one time it's 3 personal stories to 1 professional post. Is that your formula there? 3 personal, 1 professional?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And you can just round robin it like that all the time if you want. But the thing about social media is people get in their own heads and they're like, I don't know what to post. Well, you're not ever going to figure out what to post if you're not posting. Right. So you can post all you want. And if it gets nothing, you delete it. You know, it's trial and error. The whole social media thing is all trial and error. And from us teaching all over the place, you know, what you hit the nail on the head. It's probably 1% of people that will actually take what we teach, and we spend a lot of time doing this, and 1% of people will actually do what we're saying. Right. Maybe 0.5%, you know? So it's all about just getting out of your head, stepping out of your comfort zone, and just doing it and not worrying about what people think of you.
So even if someone weren't going to say, go down the avenue of social media, right? Let's say someone chose another form of lead generation. What I'm hearing you say is that you must be purposeful. Every action you take has a purpose behind it, and you must be consistent and do it every day. Exactly. That's what I'm hearing you say. That's what I'm hearing you say. Okay, so I have one more question. I want to read to you. The Finnig team says, Nick, you and Lindsay are such an inspiration. Rosamond says, Nick, thanks for coming in. I want to shadow you. Terry Light says, love that affirmation. I'm not going on a listing presentation. I'm going on a listing confirmation. Okay, so before I open up for questions, 1 or 2 strategies to help someone if their lead generation lever is, if they want it to be social media, or maybe they're like, no, social media is still not for me. I'm got this going on and it works really well. What are 1 or 2 strategies you can give people to help them break through their ceiling of achievement in whatever it is they're doing?
That's a great question. And honestly, I would say the best thing you can do in real estate is just talk to people. Okay. So, I mean, it's really that simple, honestly. Just talk to people anywhere you are, figure out, you know, your one thing. That the book is amazing because it's so true. You know, like literally if you pick that one thing you're going to do, you do it consistently, and you master it. That's the key, you know? So and don't move on until you do master it. Right. So that's one thing that we are going to start doing, is because we truly have mastered Facebook, you know. So we're going to start diving into different social medias now. So don't move on until you master it. I've had social media for 8 years. Right. Mm-hmm. And I can look back and laugh at the stuff that I used to post because it wasn't purposeful, you know, and then I look in like maybe last year and see everything that we've done and how we post and everything. And it's like totally different. So, you know, it's just super, that's the thing that you have to do is depending on whatever it is that you choose to do, you have to ensure that it's purposeful. Awesome. That's my advice. And honestly, like if you're good at talk, you just got to find out what your niche is. If you're good at talking to people, there's so many different ways that you can go about doing real estate. When I first started and I wasn't that big on social media yet, I would call a golf course and jump on with a threesome, and I would play with 3 people that probably have money, you know? So I found out different ways of doing things. You know, we cross-reference different social medias as well. So we'll go onto LinkedIn and we'll find influencers on there and bring them back to our Facebook and friend them. So you're building an audience of people who are influencers, and you can do that outside of social media. You can walk into a doctor's office or a CPA's office, whatever, and ask them to do business with you. It's not hard to do. It's just getting out and doing it that makes it work.
Yeah, it's not hard to do. It's just getting out and getting into action. That's the hard part, right?
Yep.
Well, one last question before I open it up for questions from everyone else. 2 books around growing a business through social media, or that you've read that have been the most impactful 2 books that these agents or entrepreneurs that are listening today, if they want to grow their business through social media platform, that they can go out and read.
Jab, 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 Right Hook. I already referenced that one by Gary Vee. And then I don't know if you remember Derek War, but GoPro. You ever heard of GoPro?
Yes.
Yes. It's old, but the strategies are literally the same. You know, it's Social Agent as well, 2.0, Tony Giordano. He was kind of our mentor at first in the business, and and we just kind of feel like we matched them now, which is kind of fun. So
yeah, the Social Agent 2.0 is one I've read as well, and that's really good. I only read that because of you guys.
Yep.
You guys are the reason I read that. So I love it. Here's the thing. I appreciate you so much for being on. Has this been helpful, guys? I mean, come on. I mean, just a little bit of what Nick has given us is so helpful. What I heard is find something you love, put a system around it, and do it every day. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. It may not even be something that you love. Like Nick said, I don't really like social media, but I know that I can't be a secret agent, and this was the best way to get my name and my voice out. So do it every day, build a system around it, and just go after it. Nick, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. I adore you, and I adore the business that you guys have built. You're just amazing and phenomenal. And again, you can catch Nick's class on April the 28th. I'll make sure everybody gets the information. I'll talk to you soon.
That's good. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.